What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, and we are back with another midday live here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. It's been a while since I've done a midday live on a weekday, but I had to do the midday live today instead of at 6 because I won't be available at 6 o'clock to do this stream, which is the time I would typically have this stream occur. So we're doing it in the middle of the day. So for those who don't catch it because you may be at work or whatever the case may be, make sure y'all catch the playback at your earliest convenience. But shout out to everybody that is here. I'm glad that you all are here. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. If you are new to the channel, and if you are new, I'm glad that you are here. Shout out to the mods, shout out to the members, shout out to those on Patreon, shout out to the replay gang as well. Before we get into everything, let me acknowledge those who are here so far in the chat. We have News for Thought, DSB, Tina Thomas, Black Boots Productions, La Homer Washington, St. Maurice, Aquarius Rising, Walter Hunter, Hurricane Nisi, Black Spider, Wallow J, Champion Gamer, Gamer G, Raging Woody, Dark Titan, Cosmo Fury, Reparations Nation, Retro Gemini, Timothy Moore, the My Voice Channel, The Cynical One, DeMarcus, NLR Forever, Anita Harrell, Miriam R, Anthony Phillips, Armageddon 26, Don P, I'm a Maytaurus. Hey, I'm a Maytaurus too. Shout out to the Maytauruses. We got Armageddon 26, and that is it so far. So we're going to be talking about Slim Thug in this video that I saw. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I didn't watch the video yet. I bookmarked it because I knew I was going to turn this into a live. And apparently, he sat down with Willie D, I guess on Willie D's podcast, and it got into the discussion of reparations. And then Slim Thug had to talk out of the side of his mouth again as a pushback against Black people, because this is not the first time he did it. If y'all been on my channel for a while, y'all know that I did a bed bucking entry for him a couple months ago. I want to say maybe at the end of December or maybe the beginning of January, but I want to say it was at the end of December. And he said some off-code stuff about the Black community then. I remember, if y'all don't remember, he was in his car and he was on, I guess he was recording on his phone, or maybe he may have been on Instagram Live or whenever he did this. And he was saying some disparaging things about Black people then. Well, now fast forward, and now he's still talking, and he's saying something about our tangibles. And whenever that happens, we're going to have something to say about it. So I'm going to go ahead now and share my screen. And before I get into it, let's read what it says right here. And it was posted by The Art of Dialogue. It says, Slim Thug speaks against Black people receiving reparations and the mindset of waiting for someone to give you something. Don't y'all find it very interesting? They love to always talk about how Black people are waiting for a handout or waiting to receive something. Meanwhile, all these other groups have received handouts, and some of them didn't even have to wait. They just gave it to them. But they never have that for anyone else but us. I find that very, very interesting. But let's see what nonsense he's talking about. It's only 4.5 minutes long, so I'm going to pause it in between to insert my commentary, because I already know he's going to be saying a boatload of foolishness. And I already kind of spoiled myself a little bit because I started to read some of the comments. Apparently, Willie D does push back against his narrative, so shout out to Willie D for doing that.
And then I know who I am on another level of, like, you can't question my Blackness as a Black man ever, because I'm actually Black owned out here. I'm one of the very few rare rappers who is not owned by a white man, by a Jewish man. I don't even know no other rappers who got on a whole catalog like Slim Thug. So to ever question my Blackness when I have the integrity enough to not even let a white man own my music, and it's people buying masters and selling masters every day, like it's none. I'm none affected by that. You know what I'm saying? I stand on too much business when it comes to that.
Are you speaking to the comments where you made when you was talking about Black people need to move on and stop blaming white folks?
Maybe. I don't. Now that's not what I.
Thank you, Willie D, for bringing up. That's what it was about. what Willie D just said, that's why he got in that bed bucking Hall of Shame the first time when he was talking about, quote unquote, stop blaming white folks for everything and that black people just need to move on. I find it interesting that he's telling us this, but there's a lot of other groups out there that haven't, quote unquote, moved on. And they love to tell black people to move on or to put a Band-Aid over a flesh wound. And he says he's not owned by this and that, but the way he's talking, it sounds to me like you at least got some puppet strings attached to your back or battery inserted in your back, in that spine somewhere that's holding you up.
What I was talking about, but that they took that clickbait out of that. You need to stop blaming white folks. Yeah, it ain't about, oh man, white people ain't never did nothing to you or nothing like that. It's the mindset. It's the mindset of waiting for somebody to give you something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I don't know about y'all, but I'm not waiting on them to give me anything. Imagine if we spent our collective day just sitting there just waiting for something to fall out of the sky. Until we get what we are owed, because it is a debt owed, we're going to still persevere and we're going to still keep doing what we got to do. We've been doing it this long. Why stop now? So I don't know where this thing of, oh, we're just waiting for something. What? I don't know who he hangs around. But that just shows you right there, he might need a new circle of people or to be around a new crop of people. Imagine us just sitting there waiting for a group of people that already hates our guts to begin with, just giving us something, just out of the quote unquote kindness of their heart.
They wrong. Yeah, they did all that. But why are you waiting on your enemy to give you something? Why are we asking for reparations in 2025 when people came from all over Earth to America and been successful?
Oh, there it is, y'all. Now we're about to get into the meat of the whole situation. He just said, why are you waiting for white people to give you reparations when people came from all around the world and became successful? Sir, do you know a lot of those people ended up getting, like, they got grants? They got a huge one-up when they got here. A simple Google search, y'all, a simple Google search will tell him everything that he needs to know about everything that he's saying, but he's being willfully obtuse, or let's just put it this way, he's being willfully ignorant. And that's another talking point. This talking point right here is exactly why a lot of those immigrants come over here and try to tell us that they are better than we are. If it wasn't for us and what our ancestors, the work our ancestors put in, y'all would still be struggling in your homeland. Which I find interesting that you'll let your homeland struggle instead of building it up, but then you'll come over here and say how much better you are than us. But for him to sit up there and say, oh, other people came over here and are thriving and doing better than us and not receiving anything, that is a lie. That is a documented lie that he is telling the people. Thankfully, the people in the comment sections was lighting them up, and we're going to get into those comments after we get through this video.
Even in your neighborhood, the nail lady, the corner store ain't owned by you. You know what I'm saying?
And why is that? I remember, and I think I've told this story before. It was this lady, I can't remember what state she was in. She was trying to open up I guess it was like a beauty, not a beauty shop, like maybe it was a nail shop or a hair shop. And one of those establishments that Asians are typically known for owning, especially in black areas. And she tried to open one up, but because of quote unquote not zoning, but how the area was, and because it was already a Asian owned store like that there, they didn't allow her to put her establishment there because of quote unquote competition. So what did she do? She packed up her stuff, sold her house, and went to Japan or China and set up her store there on their turf. So she said, oh, well, if I can't set it up where I'm at, let me go to their area and I'll set up shop there. And from what I heard back then, I don't know if it's still there now, but at the time it was thriving. And she made sure to let people know that she put her face on the banner like, look, yeah, you see this? I own this shop, but she still was making money over there. She like, if y'all not going to let me set up shop in my own home, I'll go set up shop in yours. Because basically that's what you did with me. Because a lot of them can't set up shop in white neighborhoods because they're not going to allow them to do that. So what do? Tell them to go down to the black. Because honest, let's be real here. The people who own, a lot of those agents who own those shops and carry outs and stuff like that, they don't live around us. They only are around us during business hours. And when business is closed for the day, they go and go into their enclave, wherever that may be. And like Cosmo just said, it's not waiting, it's principle. It's a debt owed. They owe us. They said 40 acres and a mule, and they didn't, and they reneged on it. But what did they do? They gave funds and payments and reparations, let's call it what it is, to the slave owners for quote unquote loss of labor. And they didn't just do it in the States, they did it over in Britain. Remember, I talked about that in a video that I recently did.
But we waiting on somebody to hand us some 90% of the time. And that's why we sit back and in last place when they say which race got the most, is because instead of taking advantage of right now and just saying, man, without whatever I ain't have, I'm finna make it happen right now.
And let's be honest, the reason why he's saying this is because one, this is the popular thing to say, because again, it has no resolution. Let's be real here. A lot of people who talk like he is, they don't have a solution for the black community. They don't. All they have is a talking point, because if they did have a solution, they would have actually put one in place a long time ago, but they don't have one. So this is their I'm gonna throw my hands up moment and just say, oh, the black community is this, it's that, because it's easier for them to say that. It's just like when they say, why isn't there a cure for cancer? Easy. Why would there be? I can make more money on the treatment than if I gave you the cure, because if I give you the cure, that means you no longer need me anymore. Just like when people are in debt, why find a way to get people out of debt faster, keep them there forever, and then they will forever be indebted to you. So people like Slim Thug, he doesn't have a solution, and probably never will, but he has a talking point. And for him, that's all he needs. And also, that's what white people love to hear. He said he's not owned by them folks. I couldn't tell by the way he's talking, because many of the people that talk like that, in my opinion, are owned by them. I'm just waiting for him to go to Fox News with this rhetoric. I'm just waiting for them to give him a call, and he's gonna hop right up there and say the exact same thing that he's saying right now.
Now, without nobody giving me nothing, I don't want nothing from nobody. I only want to stand on my feet as a man and go conquer this earth and whatever, and leave my legacy behind.
To be clear, you don't want reparations.
I don't want no reparations from nobody.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, thank you for saying that you don't want it. That means when the checks do get cut and your name is on it, that means put a pin in what he just said and pass his payment on to somebody else that could benefit from it. I hate to say it, but don't even give it to his family, because then that means there's a good chance he's gonna chip away at it. Give it to someone who has no ties or connection to him, and let his family be mad at him for the clownery in which he just spewed right now.
Stop right there. I want reparations, and here's why.
And that's crazy. Like, who? Okay. This is how you know people like him are dumb. You mean to tell me you would turn down, let's just hypothetically say, billions of dollars that's owed to you, that is not tax deductible. They're not taking it. It would be tax free, rather. They have no ties to it whatsoever. It's all yours. And you're telling me you would reject that? What kind of mindset is some of these Negroes on? And mind you, this guy is in, I don't know how old Slim Thug is, but if I had to guess, I would say he's a lot closer to 50 than 45 if he's not in his 50s already. These people are straight up lying to themselves. That's why when Willie D said what he said, Slim Thug started to chuckle. Let me go back and play that.
Want reparations?
I don't want no reparations from nobody.
Let me stop right there.
That's why he chuckled right there. He said, what about reparations? And he said, I don't want no reparations from nobody. Like, again, like I said, put a stamp in that. And then Willie D said, let me stop right there. And he started to laugh because he knows what he said was a bunch of BS. And shout out to DeMarcus for the 5. He says, Tony, do you see a difference between Slim Thug and the game? In what way? But I appreciate the 5. Are you talking about mindset or looks? Brotherman says Slim Thug is only 44. Okay. Dompy, I think you got your dates wrong. He's not 34. He's because I know this because when Slim Thug first came out, he was already a grown man, and I was like a teenager. He was already a grown man when he first came out, and I was in like high school. So yeah, I believe 44 is more accurate. Okay, so he's closer to 45. Okay.
I want reparations, and here's why.
Okay.
It ain't even necessarily for me. It's for my ancestors, because that is a debt owed. They died. They worked. They were treated like the worst that you can even imagine that somebody could ever be treated.
Now, do y'all just hear that? Now that Willie D is laying down why he would want reparations, did you just hear what he said? Slim Thug said, I agree. Then why would you just sitting up there talking down on it then if you agreed with what he said? See, that's how you know this dude is talking from every crevice in his body, not just the one on his face. He sat up there for the first, how long we into this video? Like what? 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Let's just knock off 18 seconds. He spent the first 2 minutes talking, well, maybe not the first 2 minutes, but maybe a good 30 seconds to a minute talking about why we don't need reparations. But then when Willie D broke down why he would want it, then he gonna come back and say, I agree. This is how you know he is full of it. If Willie D didn't interject and say what he said, he would have still been carrying on with the nonsense that he was saying. He doesn't even know why he doesn't want it. That's the crazy part. Willie D is explaining why he wants it. Slim Thug can't even explain why he does not want it. That's the wild part about it. That's the craziest part. You're going to sit up there and say why. Well, first off, you're going to say why you don't. Well, he couldn't even explain what he didn't explain why he didn't want it. But he's going to sit up there and say why we shouldn't get it. No, speak for yourself. If you're going to speak, if you're going to talk about this should if you're going to speak up against it, that's an individual thing right there. But you do not sit up there and you speak for the collective like that's what we all agree. No, you're actually in the minority, and very much so in the minority.
And it didn't end with slavery. It moved on into the Jim Crow era, and it's still going on right to this day. So reparations would absolutely give Black people some get back and some seeds to plant. Like right now, a lot of us, we don't have seeds. A lot of these people, everybody else had seeds, including white people.
Now he coming back saying facts. See, first off, shout out to Willie D for even having to break this down on why he would want reparations. Now, one thing I am glad that Willie D is doing is he's not speaking for the collective like Slim Thug did. And by that, I mean he's saying personally why he would want it, because, you know, we all deserve what we are owed. That is what was promised to us, or promised our ancestors that they did not get. But everybody might have a different reasoning as to why they want it. See, Willie D said why he didn't say why we. He's speaking for himself as to why he wants it and what it means to him to receive it. His reasoning might be different from mine. It might be different from everyone in this chat who would qualify. But what Slim Thug did was speak collectively for all of us, or so he thought, of why we don't deserve it. And that is a problem. That is a problem that I have.
Immigrants come here, they have seeds used and that are provided to them from our government by way of our tax dollars.
Facts.
They will take our shit and give it to them and allow them to come up, but at the same time
Shout out to DSB for the 50. He said Slim Thug will be singing a different tune when his record sales tank. Is he still even charting? Shout out to DSB. Does Billboard even know who he is anymore? I don't even know he still made music. And maybe that's for good reason. See, now Willie D has, speaking of planting seeds, he's planting a seed into Slim Thug's head that's making him think like, wow, I just said a bunch of crap. Yes, you did. Because notice he's not rebutting anything that Willie D is saying. He's agreeing with everything that he has said in just the last less than a minute. So why did you come on there and say what you said then? Like that was just a waste of time.
Try to subjugate us. So those reparations ain't just for me, it's for my ancestors. I got it. I could say I don't necessarily need it, but I do know a whole lot of black people that could use them damn reparations to get on their feet.
100% agree with everything you're saying.
And so we need those reparations because it's a debt owed. It's almost like what if
I totally
you gave somebody some money? What if you gave?
But look,
hold on. What if you gave somebody some money? Let's say it's a substantial amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
You gave somebody, let's say, $100,000.
Right.
You passed on. Your sons know this motherfucker borrowed 100 racks from my dad and ain't paid it back yet.
Right.
They not supposed to go get that money?
Look what I'm telling you though. What if the dude broke?
Who cares? You're gonna find a way to get that money somehow. Now look, now here comes the rebut, and it's a stupid one. What if the dude broke? Listen, the government don't care if you broke. Uncle Sam gonna still get his one way or another. Just call yourself Uncle Sam and treat yourself as if you're the person that's the tax collector. Talking about what if he broke? F that, you gonna get that money some way, somehow.
What if whoever had the 100,000 is broke and you'll never get it?
But this one, right? Well, he got to get it out his ass or something.
So that's what
I'm saying. It got to come from somewhere.
That analogy goes.
It's got to come from somewhere.
They go the same way with America. Do you really believe that these folks will ever in life actually give us some reparations?
You know why I say yes?
When did we start asking for reparations?
We've been asking for reparations.
About around what time? You don't know? I don't even know.
Of course you don't know. You haven't been paying attention, or maybe you've been drinking too much lean. I don't know. You've been drinking that cough syrup straight out the bottle again. Look, he don't even know when the discussion of reparations was even occurring, but going to sit up there and talk about what we should and should not get, or what we are and are not owed. This is exactly what he gets.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
Damn. It's a bunch of bull.
Man, listen. Let's go through some of these comments and then I'm going to drop the link, y'all. So we got this first comment says, this is why stupid people can't be allowed to lead. This dumb imp effer thinks that the Asian nail lady magically had money to start a business in a black neighborhood. She most likely got the money from the U.S. government under the quote-unquote minority label like all foreigners do. And shout out to DSB again for the 20. He said it's Slim Thug or Tether because I'm picking up Tether vibes. Honestly, first off, thanks for the super chat. Honestly, I don't know, but I do know one thing. I do know whether he's a Tether or not. He is definitely a buck dancer, hence why he is entered into the bed bucking hall of shame for a second time. The resistance says reparations for the descendants of American chattel slavery, period. At Willie D live stood 10 toes down and countered him instead of letting this foolishness fly. And that's how it's supposed to be. You are not supposed to let people come onto your platform, or even if you go onto their platform, and allow them to say some foolishness like this. And shout out to Wallow for being a member for 12 months. I appreciate you. Someone else just put the raccoon. They put a bunch of raccoon emojis. Someone says, I notice a lot of rappers speak about everything except gangs, drugs, hood culture, sexual promiscuity, etc. Yet when it comes to reparations or politics, they have no problem talking. Someone else says, why do people always act like Black Americans are sitting somewhere twiddling our thumbs waiting for reparations, which is something I said at the beginning. This is why do people have to come to America to be successful? Why couldn't they be successful at home? Someone says, I'd love a list of books he has read. Someone else said, Malcolm X told us about celebrities 60 years ago. Slim Thug's just the latest to sound like a useful idiot, but thankfully the FBA delineation movement isn't led by celebrities, but an actual grassroots movement. And shout out to DSB for gifting 5 memberships. They went to Hacksign KT, Always Me, Brooklyn Queen, Wall Street Tech, and Rosemary Carter. I appreciate it. And I'm sure they do as well. Someone else says, Slim Thug is an ignorant man. Sad to see. Someone else said, I disagree. If your employer didn't pay your earnings, I bet you wouldn't see it as a handout. Why? Because you work for it. That is disrespectful to see our ancestors' hard work as work for nothing. Okay, don't give us cash, just give us what was promised, land equivalent to what you offered in the Homestead Act, so valuable, usable land. Someone else says, do people even consider Slim Thug a good rapper or songwriter? I'm not sure why he's even been given a platform, but he sounds completely lost in this clip. Good on Willie D for correcting him. Reparations is a debt owed. It's our 1A right to petition our government for redress. Someone says, this is what an uninformed and willfully ignorant person looks like when they speak. And someone put up a picture of the wonderful and immaculate and iconic and legendary Dr. Khalid Muhammad. RIP to that man. Tell Slim Thug to shut his old ass of these entanglements in celebrity culture, disqualify him from any discussion pertaining to our collective and reparations. Someone else said he's a rapper with an opinion. He won't stop the movement. He said immigrants come to this country and become successful is the worst argument against reparations because those same immigrants are sponsored by the government to live here. Someone else says, so who are all these people waiting? What rich black folks don't want is for us to get reparations, and they won't have that one up on us anymore. Us calling for justice ain't us waiting around. Houston has plenty of people who need those reparations. They work every day, but if you think they wouldn't benefit from getting 100K or so per person, which actually would most likely be way more than 100K, then you are selfish. It is a debt that is owed. And it goes on and on and on. And one thing I like about the topic of reparations, especially because it's been coming so ignited, is that 10 years ago, this wouldn't have even been a topic of discussion. Or if it was in the beginning, it wouldn't be this many people pushing back against Slim Thug. It would have been a lot of people agreeing with him. But now that tide has turned, it has pivoted, is now tilted. Now it's more people pushing back against it because now when people look at the research and they just do, again, simple research, historical research, then it's like, it's something to this here. And now they've gotten on board. And now they're pushing back like they should. So, yeah. I have a feeling that Slim Thug, every time I talk about him, he's always going to end up in the Bed Bucking Hall of Shame because this is the second time I've talked about him. And the second time it was alive. And in the second time, it was one of these type of videos. The only one that he can get now outside of this, in my opinion, is a Triple P. So there's that. But anyway, y'all know what time it is. And I know y'all have something to say. Some of y'all probably on your lunch break. So I'm dropping the link right there in the chat. If anybody would like to come up and speak to this topic, feel free to go right on ahead. I'm going to get my timer together as usual. And y'all can let it loose. I wish I had the rest of the clip because it definitely carries on past that 4 minute and 25 second mark. We got a new first person up here today. Wallow J must be on the clock, but Jay the Informant, what's going on?
Can you hear me? Coming through clear?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so I think it's actually kind of crazy that the person who sung the song First 48, which we all know what First 48 is, it came out from A&E, pretty much it's about homicides. And, you know, he sings these songs. He's a thug rapper, all that. He wants to tell us, now he wants to switch lanes, tell us who to vote for, which was Kamala Harris, and tell us where our political affiliation should be in. And even though he don't fully understand, like the nuance of the conversation, he still put in his 2 cents, which I find that kind of like it's crazy, but it's more common than usual. That's why we see so many YouTubers with so many channels. They can just say whatever they want. They don't have to be informed. They don't have to provide a lot of evidence. All they have to do is make a face and say some outrageous stuff, and then act like they're confused when they get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when Slim Thug, because like I do follow Slim Thug on Facebook. He's usually biking around Houston. You know, I'm in Houston. He's biking around Houston with his girlfriend and all that stuff. I think he needs to stick to biking, something that he knows, and stay out of the conversations. I know he's still upset that Harris lost, but it's time for him to move on and to get off Black People's case.
Yeah.
Slim Thug, mother.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And definitely on that last part, because like he said in the video, he doesn't know what the conversation is all about. He just heard it, and this is the opinion that he's formulated without knowing what the discussion is. He just inserted himself in there because, well, I'm going to be the contrarian. You know, everybody is for it, but I'm going to be that one person that's going to go, well, one of the few people that goes against the grain, just so I can be the different one. That's not how this works. And shout out to DSB for the 2. He said he should know we don't listen to sellouts. I appreciate it. All right, next up we got Jonathan. What's going on?
What's up, man? You know, Slim Thug is from my city, Houston, and what a disappointment. But I'm not surprised since, you know, the whole thing about him, you know, getting us both for Kamala and all that stuff. And now he's saying reparations are not for, you know, we don't need reparations. Now, at this point, they're just doing it. It sounds like he's trying to say, get relevant again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's not as big as Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? His rap, we kind of have not been listening to him for a good while. And he could be, I want to say he's probably doing this to be relevant, or he just really like that. And you know, when I see you act like that in front of the cameras, I'm going to assume you like that in real life. And I feel betrayed as a Houston native. So yeah, we don't take sellouts, we don't take traitors. Everything is basically, you know, if he falls on his ass, that's on him. We're not going to be there to lift him up because we're not going to you know, carry sellouts. We don't take sellouts. I'm done with that. So he chose his bed. He got to lay in it. So I'm gonna let my plane right there.
All right, appreciate you coming up.
Appreciate you.
All right, shout out to Jonathan for coming up. All right, next up we got Armageddon. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, man? You doing all right, Torrin?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, man. It's really disappointing that that you know he's like that, man. Because I don't know, is he trying to show out for other people? Is he trying to become relevant?
He says that he's not beholden to them folks, but you couldn't tell by the way he's talking.
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to become relevant or something. Or it's really it's disgusting. I mean, I'm 47 years old, and the way I look at it, I mean, let's say I did not want reparations. I'm not going to talk against it for somebody else to get. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go against my own people. You know, because we see our situations, how we living. You know what I mean? We know so many of us had to get it out the mud. You know, it's not even funny. Most of us had to get it out the mud. You know, I'm sure even when you started, you know, doing this, I mean, you started with nothing and it grew, you know? So we all know what it's like. And for him to just, you know, say that, you know, it's disgusting. And I hope he falls. I hope he ends up on your triple P. I really do. Because he deserves it, you know? And 9 times out of 10 people that toss against us, they usually end up on your triple P.
Yeah.
I'm going to land my plane.
I appreciate you coming up. And that's basically what Armageddon, to go back and piggyback on what he said, is if you are going to speak against reparations, speak against it for yourself on an individual level. Don't speak for us, because the minute you start saying we or start speaking French, then that is when we are going to have a problem. All right, next up we got Goddess. What's going on?
Hey, Torian, what's going on? Salute to you, brother.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I just had to chime in on this slim, not so slim, idiotic thug, who always opened his fat, useless lips to spew ignorance. If you don't know what's going on about an issue or a situation, or even out of touch with what's going on, um, with our lineage, you should not feel so comfortable as to put your two unwanted, useless scents in. These celebrities, and I'm not going to group them all because some do have an inkling and do listen to the new black media, and it's brushing up on what is current and what is important to us in our lineage, while you still have the other ones with their paymasters who claim that they're not controlled, but they are dogs on leashes, and truly speak about things that they don't know, especially when you speak about FBA and our freedmen and our lineage and our reparations movement and our delineation movement that we are doing. This is why it's so important that we hold the line, toe the line, and stay on code and be codified against these ignorant people who are out here who chooses to speak and to put their belittling, self-hatred, projecting it as something as a whole for us. No, you do not have the right to speak for us, and we're going to speak loudly with our right to choose to support you or not to support you. And when you sit up there and talk against the lineage and you do damage because you choose to be an ignorant, uninformed savage, then we are going to speak with our lack of support and lack of being there for you, because you have already outed yourself. So therefore you are an outsider, and we believe in checking and wrecking and vexing those who choose to come against our lineage, and you're going to suffer the repercussions with your economical stability, popularity, and things of that nature, because we're not taking it no more. And you don't get to spew ignorance, hatred, self-depravity.
Goddess, are you still there? Sound like your mic. Yeah, it sound like you sound like your mic had cut out.
Yeah, it had went. The screen had went dark from inactivity. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But
okay, you know.
wrapping up, you don't get to spew that and project that onto us, because then we will make sure that you are unpopular and we will not support you economically in that sense. So salute to you, brother. Be one and keep
Be one.
doing what you do. We appreciate you and we love you. Shout out to you. Peace.
No problem. Peace. All right, shout out to Goddess for coming up. Next, we got Church. What's going on?
How you doing, Tori? How's your day going?
It's doing good.
Blessings to you. Yeah, I spoke about this on one of my broadcasts, and to be honest with you, the dude just mad because of the fact that he got called out by everybody when he was talking about y'all need to stop blaming white folk. And so what he's doing right now, while he's sitting there talking about I not beholden to anybody and this, that, and the third, he's putting in his application to the white supremacists. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing that Charleston White was doing. Charleston White used to talk about all the issues in the community and all this other stuff, and then only to flip around and start talking about, oh, y'all need to stop blaming the white man and all this other stuff. It's the same playbook. They're just putting in their applications because, like you said, if Fox come knocking on his door tomorrow, he's going to be right there spewing the same nonsense that he was spewing in front of Willie D. And to be honest with you, to be agreeing with Willie D, to be on the side of Willie D says a lot. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know how he can ride his bike around Houston and say we don't need no reparations. That's just a disrespect. It's a slap in the face to everybody who descends from the lineage. That's just what it is, because Hell, I'm at TSU. Right across the street, you got these like projects where you got a gang of folks that you can't go over there and say, y'all don't need reparations to. I guarantee you, you might get jumped. And that's just the facts. But I'll land there, family. You have a good day.
You too. Shout out to Church for coming up. And next up, the person who's usually first that ain't first today. Now, by a long shot. Wallow, what's going on?
What's going on, Torrin? What's going on in the chat? Everybody in the chat. I'm at work. That's why I let y'all get that. It's fine. I mean, I gotta work. I gotta make a living. I can't always be first all the time. But don't worry, it'll be all right. I think Church put it perfect and God has put it perfect, because for him to go up there to say that, like, you still getting backlash every time he posts on social media. I don't follow him on social media. He's probably, trying to be all pro-black and all this other stuff. But no, once you said it the first time, then you did it again. And then for you to be agreeing with Willie D while he was giving his talking points, it's like you just talking out two sides out your mouth. Like, you can't sit up here and say, well, we don't need it, and then you were going to agreeing with Willie D the whole damn time. Like, damn. Willie D is allegedly Cuban, not Cuban, Caribbean, allegedly. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody in the chat can tell us, but allegedly he's Cuban. So Caribbean, excuse me. So how you gonna sit up here and say we don't need it, but then you agree with everything Willie D saying? So basically, you're just trying to get a whole new audience. That's basically what he's trying to do. He's trying to get a whole new audience. So, because he's probably getting tired of being the all pro-black, because he probably ain't making the money like he used to. But what goes around comes around, everybody. I'll let my plane there.
All right, appreciate you coming up. All right, next up we got Mansa Musa. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I was just thinking about it, bro. I got two things for this guy. I got a song and a movie. The new song he should be singing. It's a Temptation song. It's called "I'm a Meatball
You crazy.
on a Cloudy Day."
How did I know that you was going to incorporate that word into the song?
And then I got a movie for him. Remember that animated movie with the food rain out the sky? It's called Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Yeah.
I was sitting here thinking about it, like, I got something clever for this guy. See, you know what's funny? Because I came in late, but I saw you talking about it, and it's hilarious. I said, bro, I just saw that clip you was talking about with Willie D. I was like, yo, this dude, he's losing me. I don't know.
I've been lost him. I don't think he even I don't think he even had me. Really, what has this guy really done since the early 2000s?
He made a song with Beyonce. Check up on it if you remember that. Yeah.
Well, someone else referenced that song in the chat too. But besides that, I mean, I think that's really the song that kind of got people to notice who he was.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid artist. He got some music out there, but he hadn't dropped nothing recently. So anybody really, not to say nobody checking for him, but to be honest, nobody checking for him right now. So I guess, like, I don't know. I mean, I heard he's doing some things. He's building apartments. He's trying to build an apartment complex where he was at. It was just cool if he's doing that, but this topic you shouldn't speak on, like, especially if you're not well versed in it. Like, we got people who speak on it. Yourself, Torian, KG, everybody else. Vicky Dillard. We got people who speak on it. Professor Black True. We got a lot of people who speak on this topic who are well versed. Oh, got mine.
It's been a long time, but I appreciate you coming up. Hey, Wallow, you went with Wallow on the clock so he can type it in the chat. But it's been a long time since that buzzer hit. And Mansa Musa, I hate that it had. There he is. There he is. But Moochie, I just posted the link in the chat. If you want to come up, I put your name next to the link too. But let's see who we got. Uh-oh. Y'all know what time it is.
Heed my command and reclaim these relics of hatred.
Hurricane Nisi, what's going on?
Good afternoon, Torian and family in the chat. Kudos to Goddess M and Church for always articulating perfectly. I ain't got to articulate it. I'm just gonna speak facts. Slim Thug, damn near 50, wants to be relevant again. If you don't know the subject matter, keep your double-breasted lips shut. You said what you said. You said it more than once. Now be prepared to deal with your repercussions. And I land there.
I appreciate you. And shout out to Hurricane Nisi, hailing all the way from West VA. I see Mooch, I see you. All right, next up we got, and I think this name right here is appropriate for today's topic. Say no to tap dancing. And they got a picture of Shadow up there.
Hey, Torian.
What's going on?
I'm fine. I think you can hear my accent. I'm from across the pond from the Netherlands.
Okay, I can hear it. What's going on?
Oh yeah. I'm African, but I've been supporting FBA Black Americans since I was, I think, 15 years old, and I think that Slim Thug, he's an idiot.
That's an understatement. But that's an understatement. But we'll start there.
And Slim Thug's the kind of immigrant I really don't like. He just immigrates, or maybe his family immigrate. I don't know, but he needs to mind his own business.
Mm-hmm.
Because I read the comments and I think he's Haitian. I've read. I don't know if it's true, but if he's Haitian,
I don't know. I don't really know what his lineage is. I have to go and look that up. I do know that he is from Texas, though. That's as far as where he's from, or where he was born, rather. I know he was born in Texas.
Okay, but if he really is Haitian, I think he should, focus on all the foreign what do you call those people again? Those Red Cross people diddling little children there. Like, he needs to focus on that. Just mind your business. Hello?
Was that it? Or you have more?
And also, like, how is this guy a rapper and he has all this money, but his skin still looks ashy like that? His skin looks really dry. And I'll land my plane.
All right, appreciate you coming up. All right, let's see. Next up, we got Denzemus. What's going on?
What's good, my guy? Irrelevant should be the word for Slim Thug. I don't know, because that's what the fuck he is. Last time I checked, I was just listening to check up on it, as a matter of fact, and I didn't even know that was his ass. They said his name in the song, and I didn't even know it was him. But I don't know why he would even want to not have reparations. He needs all the help his ass can get. And then secondly, I did do a quick research. His mother, I don't know, man. I don't know. His mother, she's no disrespect to his mother, but I don't know. She looks non-FBA-ish, and his father is from what I see, is a dark-skinned man. So I definitely believe there is some non-FBA in there. But yeah, this is just some, like you said earlier, just niggas just like to be defiant just for the hell of it. There's literally no reason anybody should be arguing against it, especially if you are FBA, because it would help you. What other reason? Like, why? There's no other reason other than just you want to be on some defiant shit. There's no reason. But all I'm gonna say is this before I go, because I'm trying to enjoy this good show. He'll be the first one. He would be the first one to go after this shit when we do get our reparations.
Oh yeah.
And that's all I have to say.
All right, appreciate you coming up. Shout out to Denzemus. Next up, we got H-Town View. What's going on?
Hey, Torian. I just wanted to say I'm actually from Houston. Slim Thug is a clown. He's been a clown since the 2000s. Instead of running his mouth about this, he should be worried about the stuff that could be coming out about him and all these women that allegedly were trafficked on Hillmont in Houston, Texas, on the northwest side. That's what he should be worried about. And he should want those reparations to pay for some of those legal fees from all those women that's going to be coming out talking against his ass. So that's all I wanted to say.
I
B1
appreciate
family.
B1. Appreciate you coming up. Before I bring up what I believe might be the last person, shout out to Alonda for the 2. She said, Houston, Texas is full of Black immigrants. I appreciate the super chat. Before I bring up the next person, or should I say maybe possibly the last person, I got to give them their proper introduction.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey,
Hey, I got to be quick. I got to be quick with your drop because it's so short.
I know it is. You got to get a longer one. We be like, hey, auntie.
What's going on?
He's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
He's irrelevant. He hasn't been relevant since the 2000s. Anytime something happened, he want to open his big fat mouth and say something. The last time he was talking about when Cassie was running down the hall, she might have stole money. Shut up.
Wow.
Come on. And then you sitting here and you're letting everybody know you stupid. All rappers are not like educated. Some of them don't read. It's just go sit down and don't say nothing. And look, we was listening to your show, me and Inga. Mm-hmm. She on the phone. And she said it. Look, go ahead, say hey.
What's going on, Inga?
She said he looked like a S trafficker. And he do. His past is coming out. I don't shout out to the person that mentioned it because me and you was right here with it. He's going down too. He better keep his mouth shut because people gonna start coming out the woodworks, especially if he goes viral. Mm-hmm. Some people, I don't know what's wrong with these middle-aged men now, where they want to go back and tell all their war stories and tell all their business about what they got away with, so they could get caught now.
Right.
I don't understand this. It's just really stupid. We watching all these middle-aged men, Big U. We watching all of these men go on these podcasts running their mouth. They need to sit down.
I agree.
That's all I gotta say.
All right, I appreciate you coming up and shout out to Inga as well for listening through the phone. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
All right, y'all. So that was my last person to come up and speak. I like these midday lives because I feel like I get a lot of participation with these middays, especially depending on the topic. But before we get up out of here, shout out to DeMarcus, DSB, Wallow, J, and Alonda for contributing, whether to the super chat or membership, or in the case of DSB, through both the super chat and the membership. I appreciate each and every person for coming through. If you're part of the replay game, let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. I can't wait to see what y'all got to say about this. Shout out to everybody who came up and spoke to this topic. I most likely will go live again. I was going to go live tomorrow, but I think I'm going to just move it and go live on Friday. Because initially I wasn't going to go live on Friday, but now that my Friday just became free, I'm going to go live on Friday. So that'll be the next time. But of course, you all will be getting the 10 a.m. premiere video tomorrow. And tomorrow's video is a Blackarin entry. How ironic. We did a bid bucking today and a Blackarin video tomorrow. And I think this might be their first time being in there. So no, it is not Candace Owens. I swear, every time I talk about a Blackarin, the first thing people think of is it Candace Owens. No, I can't put her there all the time, although I possibly could, because she practically helped lay the foundation for it. But no, it's going to be on a new person. It's going to be on someone all of y'all have heard me probably talk about before, or if you haven't, you heard of this person. So y'all will find out who that is in a couple of hours when I put the premiere window up. But with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Stay cool, because it's starting to warm up out here. And most importantly, be one.